run those countries, and I know every one of those guys. And they're smart people, and they're streetwise people, and they really think that the USA is stupid.
You
They
can
think
hear
they're
that,
run
right?
by stupid
Oh
people,
yeah.
and they happen to be right.
Okay, let's
But
hear a
when I
little bit
was
of
there,
that.
we had no problem. We got them out. We took out thousands of MS-13 gang members. We brought them back. And now, again, it's the same old story. We don't do it. And they
Just
actually
in case
gave
you're
them a
wondering
big
what we're listening
increase
to, we're listening to
in
actually a
aid. They
live
raised it up
space
to
on Twitter
billions of
as we
dollars.
speak.
And
So there's
they
actually
did
a live
nothing for it.
space
So,
going on
you know,
Twitter. Donald Trump is
Yeah.
back on
I
Yeah.
hope
Twitter.
everybody's
Yeah,
going to vote for
being,
Trump.
X,
being
rather.
interviewed by Elon Musk.
And I didn't need this.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes.
I didn't
So
need
let's
this.
hear a little bit
I
of
had
it
a
and
very
then
nice
we'll talk.
life. I didn't need
Let's
to
see.
go through court systems and go through all the other stuff and run at the same time. I have to run. I have to go through fake trials with, in some cases, corrupt judges, totally corrupt judges. I didn't need it. I had a nice life. I have great locations. I have beautiful oceans that I have places. But I felt it was important. And if I had to do it over again, you probably think I'm crazy for doing it, actually. But if I had to do it over again, I would have done it over again, because this is so much more important than me or my life. We're going to save this country. This country is going down. And these people are bad people that we're running against, and they're liars. They make statements. They do things that are so bad. They say they're going to make a strong border. They say they've been great on the border, and they've been the worst in history. They say they're going to stop crime.
Like, the facts speak for themselves.
It's so incredible.
Speak for themselves. Like it's gotten to the point where people just don't even bother reporting crime in a lot of
That's
cities
right.
because they know nothing is going to happen. That's what I hear anecdotally from people all the time. So it's just my values. I'm just saying to people out there, like the things I think are important for the future is like we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and
Right.
So we can have a prosperous future. And then we want to have some exciting sort of moonshot projects that people can get fired up about, and that's the future I'm looking for. And I'm pro environment, but I'm not against I'm not like I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry because they're keeping civilization going right now, and but I do think we want to move at a reasonable speed towards a sustainable energy economy. Those are my values, and I think and so I mean that's why I'm supporting you for president.
Oh, can you hear me?
We're going to make.
You couldn't hear me, right?
I'm hearing
incentive
everything.
to companies
Even what
to come
Elon Musk
into
is saying.
our country, not to
No,
leave
but you
our
could. You can now hear me now for the first time. I was talking before, you didn't hear me.
Build here,
Oh, I
not
didn't
to
hear
build
you.
in other
Okay, all right.
locations.
Sorry, I'm back
And we
now.
want to
Sorry.
create jobs.
All right. So,
And again,
but you
it's
can't
about
hear
the
Elon Musk. I
American
muted
dream.
him now,
You
right?
don't hear
Correct.
about the American dream anymore.
I'm
Elon.
hearing
You don't
Donald
hear
Trump
the
now.
American dream in the
Right
States,
now, as we
but
speak.
you don't hear about the American dream anymore.
Uh-oh.
And you're going to hear
All
about
right.
it.
So my mute
People,
button doesn't
they
work.
need that
That's interesting.
incentive to go out and,
Yeah.
and do
Let's
it.
see.
And they're
I'm
going to
out
love
to.
their lives. I mean, they're going to look forward to getting up in the morning and going to a job
All right.
that they
So
love, not
let
a
me do
job
this.
that they can't stand.
I can stop sharing now. You should stop hearing them now, right?
Yes, it has
Okay.
come.
Okay.
At any rate, let me my initial thought.
Your
And
initial
then
thoughts, yes. Let's do.
This is the meeting of two like minds, and what makes them two like minds? The ancestry of either of these two men, the antecedent. Of course,
Right.
Elon Musk was born by white ancestors in South Africa.
Correct.
Supposed to be a fellow, but what is the legacy of those people that gave birth to Elon Musk in South Africa? They subjugated and made a black population of that country subservient. Years of apartheid, minority rule over the vast majority of colored people and blacks were the worst, because people were related with as a mere statistic, mere color bias and what have you. And knowing what we know about the ancestors of Donald Trump in America here, Is it support for the Ku Klux Klan? Is it about the discriminatory practices of the real estate business of Donald Trump in the past? And then his encouragement of, extremist neo-Nazis that got on the street 2017 and lives were lost. And he came out to say, they were fine on all sides. Or you want to talk of his recent appearance before our association, National Association of Black Journalists in Chicago, and the attempt at mischaracterizing and defining the identity of another citizen of this country, not minding his own damn business. So you have them there. So what are they going to espouse to the world? The only advantage Elon Musk has is that he bought Twitter, and he could use that for the first time in almost, since Donald Trump was banned from Twitter. It's giving him this generous platform tonight. And, Donald Trump has been blacked out of the media, has been completely overrun by the National Democratic Committee's campaign in the last 3 weeks. He's been gasping and struggling for breath, the breath of his political life.
So it's his first time coming out.
So he's being rehabilitated at the moment, struggling, and he's demarketing America. I heard him saying, "Oh, this country is in decline." And he is always trying to demarket America. What love does he have for this country? But there is a joyous ride on the planes and everywhere. Some team, the Kamala Wall Party, the train, is moving, and it's a joyous war. And for the first time, you can feel the excitement is palpable, is in the air. And so, whatever you now want to ask me about Donald Trump, let us roll. But these are my initial thoughts. These are my initial thoughts.
Right. So I was on, I was on the show. No, not on the show. I was listening to the Twitter space before we started the show, and they were talking about inflation. And he made a point about inflation is caused by governments basically writing big checks that can never bounce, and they are spending beyond their means. And unlike a personal check, if you write more than what you have, it can potentially bounce, right? But the government check is basically perpetual overdraft, and they can spend as much as they can. It will never bounce, but you and I will have to pay for it in the form of inflation and in other ways. So that's what he was talking about. As he was talking about that, Trump kept bringing up some other stuff. The conversation was not quite congruent as you would expect.
It will never be. It will never be. And you can also expect that kind of conversation to be at the level of grade 3, grade 4 stuff, unless unless Musk is not trying to.
Musk seems like he was trying to do a lot of that, like almost like, okay, let's bring it up to this level.
Well, he's an impossible guy. It will be an impossible situation. Even look at the other nation, NSC was trying to make him responsible enough to distance himself from a type of situation. He continued to embrace it. He continued to.
Right.
It's so difficult to manage.
So in one breath, he's praising Tesla, and all of the work of Musk, which is not, obviously it's about energy,
efficiency,
the new energy efficiency, renewable energy. But it's like even though, but there's a lot of even though. He was trying to praise it at the same time, support the stupid talking point around there's no need, and then
fossil oil.
Right,
and
fossil oil.
One thing he also forgets is that yes, you're talking of electric cars everywhere, the emerging trend. But would that car exist completely without some input from petroleum byproducts? You're talking of the paint on the car. You're talking of the casing for um, the battery that you use. These are petrochemical products. So,
Somebody, let me say this before I let you run, right?
right.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, right? In one breath, it's saying they seem to disagree on this, but they won't outright say it. He's saying that oil is not going to, like, there's not enough oil to continue forever, right? That eventually they're gonna run out of oil, right? That's what Elon Musk said. And then,
Possibly so.
right, and then Trump came back and said, "Hey, but it could take us for another 500 years or so." So they kind of like brush over it very quickly because it almost seemed like it was going to be a point of
Yeah, but
disagreement.
a more, I mean, a more journalistic endeavor would have
Yes,
pushed
please.
back to challenge the scientific basis for that claim that
Which
what the
one of the
world has,
claims?
the 500,
The 500 years.
years
Uh-huh.
thing for
Right, right.
oil reservoir in the world, because this is a guy who has not even excelled in anything in life, including the so-called claim of being self-acclamation of being a billionaire. From what we know now, he's never been a billionaire. He doesn't belong in that club. And so now he pretends to have some intellectual clout. Where is that coming from? So if you allow scientists, experts in that field, you know, and where we come from originally, Nigeria, we have such experts, such technocrats in abundance. And America is not in short supply of same. So if you allow them, if you
To
allow
do the
the core
interviews.
experts to not just to voice that kind of opinion. We
Okay.
don't know if what the world has in uh, a fossil oil reserve, if it will last 500 years or if it's going to be over and done with in the next 5 years. We just don't know. So we allow the experts to do the calculation, and then we take a cue from there.
I see. I see. What's your overall take on this conversation that's ongoing right now?
Yeah, well, we see Elon Musk has thrown this guy under the train once. He had gone to the entire world to claim that, oh, Elon Musk will be giving me like $45 million every month. And Elon Musk said, whoa, 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 whoa.
Like, whoa, from where?
Where is that coming from? It's probably made up by whoever put it out there. So this is
Right.
a way for them to make up. But, Elon Musk, his appeal is in the billions he has. When
That's
you
it.
talk of deep political thinking and reasoning, I think the man still needs to go back to school. That is the way I look at it, because he is supporting a failed agenda at the moment. So what is it going to sell to the world? Is it Project 2025 or the one that is disowning the vice presidential peak? Then who doesn't seem to get it right, and is talking in a condescending way about childless people, cat ladies, and what have you. Not minding also the fact that is always in romantic hug with his couch and all that. So, all said and done, let's see how hard he can push, how hard he can try. After all, you talking of maybe engaging over 1 billion people tonight through X, otherwise known
Right.
as Twitter.
Right. About
But
1.3 million people are alive at the time. So it's probably
th- that,
will be
that's it.
close to that.
So
Yeah.
you can be sure that at some point, Donald Trump will embrace his usual modus operandi and be a huge turnoff to a lot of people. Good, nice, yes, nice try, but I don't think this is going to rehabilitate him completely, because what is coming from Agenda 2025, the heritage think tank, is so horrible, it's terrible, it's almost like a doomsday situation. That
Everybody have
will,
been talking about that. I reviewed a
yes,
little bit of it, but maybe
that will
someday
set
we'll go
America.
into it more.
Yeah, we also dealt with it the other day, and yeah, that document in itself is horrible. It's terrible. You are talking of takeover of a Supreme Court. You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait until the document becomes. But don't let me even wish that it becomes a reality, because I don't see.
Chia says that the project 2025 is dead on arrival.
Please, that is
Yeah,
my prayer as well. I agree
yeah,
totally. I
yeah.
agree totally. Yeah.
So a few hours ago, before they started, it wasn't
I
able to
mean, can
start
you,
on
no,
schedule.
Ola, can you imagine the possibility of a scrapping Department of Education? Can you imagine that these people will take over the civil service, and whatever becomes the whims and caprices of President Trump becomes the operational word code for the entire nation,
Can you imagine?
and so many other things, including the possibility of not talking about reproductive freedom anymore. So it's like they always, I mean, Republicans in the past will condemn um, the possibility of the reds that is communist coming. They will control your life and all that. But this is even worse than that. And I'm a Christian, but their own brand of Christianity is so strange. The one that says you cannot show love to your neighbor who wants your protection, who wants refuge. No, 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 no. Come on. Let's talk of something else. These guys are jokers.
So some few hours ago, when they were about to start, they couldn't start on time because apparently now they are claiming there was an attack on X, formerly known as Twitter.
I beg to disagree. 3 days ago, there was this unproven claim of attack on Donald Trump's facility by Iran. Is the one that, anyway, each time I think on the average, it lies like 30 times per second. So
Right.
what are you going to believe about this man? So possibly so, but I'm taking a bet on the fact that they were just trying to shun out another propaganda. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah, there must be that pity party. The other day, an attempt on his life that has now weakened a bit. Iranian attack on his facility now is an attack on X. I beg.
So as of
They are claiming no content.
this is a quick conclusion
Right.
update at about 8 minutes ago, directly on New York Times. They said Elon Musk, the owner of the X platform, was a sympathetic interviewer. That doesn't sound good. And the former
That's what we just said the other time. That's exactly what we just said.
Right. And the former president rattled off familiar lines from his stump speech.
That is a route. See, is a route. You know what is called route learning?
Tell me, please.
For example, if somebody is a pupil under a mandras that is an Islamic scholar,
Like a puppet.
an Amagiri, a pupil.
Yeah. Okay, a pupil. Okay.
There is this process of route learning. You repeat and repeat and repeat. No new thing to say. So shallow concerning policy content. So this guy is being seen in his true color. He took the country for a ride, for granted, 2016. It's not going to be like that. No easy ride to the White House this time around.
Even
I'm
Biden
sorry.
is determined. Even Biden is determined to the extent of giving off his second term. But anyway, this person said,
this is how you know somebody that is committed to the larger goal than somebody who is egocentric and is pursuing narrow agenda.
Right. Former President Donald J. Trump on Monday night used a discussion on X with Elon Musk, the platform owner and the world's richest man, the interview, which was delayed for 40 minutes by technical issues and extended for just over 2 hours, covered little new ground, with Mr. Musk proving a sympathetic questioner who agreed with Mr. Trump's claims and stayed
I
out
think
of
New
the
York Times
former.
should use. You see, I don't like us Nigerian language experts,
Right,
grammarians, and journalists or pro stylists at times.
right,
I think
right,
it
right.
was the revered,
It's like
uh,
they listen
the
to us. Is that
revered,
what you're saying?
yeah, the revered material of the journalism in Nigeria, Dele Giwa, that used to have um, New York Times in those days, and that was how he got his job with them. Now,
Okay,
tonight, let me also play that card on the New York Times. New
right.
York Times should not be talking of sympathetic journalists or whatever. We call them protocol journalists.
Hmm.
Yes, easily they differ, they genuflect, they are always fidgeting, and they would bow and tremble before anybody.
I
So,
see.
Mr. Musk is just kissing up to this man's rear end instead of giving him a kick in the butt.
All right, we're gonna have to dig in deeper on that on a different day. I think that's that. Okay, I don't think there's much to say about
Oh yeah,
whatever rambling is going up over there.
compare between his outing with Elon Musk and what happened at the NABJ thing, where those heroic lady journalists pounced on him and exposed
Right.
him
He was
for
dragged the
what.
very first minute. He didn't like that.
Oh yeah, and he kept going back, trolling
Right.
and just filming and throwing his usual tantrum, describing that journalist as being nasty, being hostile, and but the damage was already done.
From the
He
very
he,
second,
he
the
went there
very
to
first
like,
second.
oh, I would do this to them right at their own forum, but he ended up meeting his Waterloo there.
Anyway, check out this next segment. Let us know your thoughts about this. We're just trying to pay attention just like you. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Check out this next segment.